afternoon. My name is Valeria.
And I'm DeAunna and a little background. Coming into M.E.T.S.A, you see different clubs from robotics to rocketry and fast track, but and that's a lot of why people think that engineering is just that. Robots, rockets, and RC cars, but what we don't think of when we think of engineering is fish and plants. And that's what Aquaponics is. It's bringing life to engineering.
So our concept really is to emulate
nature in a small system.
Yeah.
So how that basically works is that you have all of the major things that you need for life going on in aquaponics. You have the food, you have oxygen, and you have water. And that goes for both the fish and the plants. They're getting their bacteria from the droppings of the fish, basically, and through that they're actually getting rid of the nitrogen that's in there and just kind of returning it back to the fish and it's clean. It's kind of a cycling process itself.
So a little bit about the background in our client. Last year we actually took the biotechnology class with Mr. Guerrero, and we actually did a project called Aquaponics. And we got the opportunity to actually build an aquaponics spill. And with this opportunity, we learned many lessons due to failure. So this year, we really wanted to give back to Mr. Guerrero's biotech class and really build an aquaponics system to help integrate, more about aquaponics into the class. Last year, we feel that what could have helped a lot was really seeing another aquaponics system and really getting ideas out of it. So we built this aquaponics system thinking about future students and really trying to get them to open up their minds about aquaponics.
We started off, we already did research because of the class, but we did more. We went more into design and structure because there's really so much you can do with aquaponics. There's so many different ways you can set it up, and you can even see that in that picture. We actually use that sort of. We had our plant bed on top, and then there's also some that are just hydroponics, where you can just have the water itself and just plants floating on top of the water, so you can have water plants. So there's different components that can go into it. It can be different sizes. You can have one single fish growing a small little plant. You can have different techniques for doing it, whether you have a pump going up or just a single irrigation system. And definitely complexity goes into that. You can do very simple, or you can make it a very complex thing.
So first we made a sketch of our aquaponics build. We had the tank, the water reservoir, the plant bed, and a small table popping out from the aquaponics build. But when we presented this to Ms. Rani, she actually had a concern that students were going to knock the plant bed out of the way, since this is like in the atrium of M.E.T.S.A. So what we did, we actually changed up our design a bit and moved the plant bed down here and made our water reservoir a bit smaller.
And you can see that on there. One of the other things that was kind of holding us back from starting was definitely finding a client. We started off with the Dallas World Aquarium and actually never heard back from them. And the Pro Museum was just busy at the time, which we understood, and that's whenever we just kind of sat down and we knew that time was approaching and we had to figure out who to do it for. And we went back to the source of our whole inspiration for the project, because we knew what we wanted to do before we found out who we were doing it for. And so as Valeria mentioned, the table was another one of the issues, just having to build it was one of them.
It was an unexpected thing to build the table.
We planned on just using the table that the aquarium was already on, but Ms. Rani explained that she just didn't feel comfortable having one of her tables there, so we had to build one. And another thing whenever we presented was space. She didn't want it extending out, so we had to change our design. And one of the other things was, as I like to call it, Snowmageddon. Our ice days, 2 days that we could have used, and another thing that we ran into was money. Yeah. But our final design ended up being quite nice.
So like I explained earlier, here is our plant bed. Earlier we had our LED light for the plant bed hanging with PVC pipe, but instead we just got some wire and hanged the LED light from the table. So here's our plant bed, water reservoir, and all running in the system.
Yeah, and as you can see, it's just more compact. You have a larger plant bed, definitely, but a smaller reservoir than our original design.
So we did a lot of fundraising in order to really earn all the money we needed. An aquaponics system, we learned that it's very expensive. So every single day we would sell chocolates, bake sales, and we actually did a garage sale where we got our most profit from. And we really ended up getting a lot of money. We also did Saturday school, so we'd come here early, set up a table, and put our donuts, Nature Valley, because some people are like, oh, I'm healthy. I'm like, here it is. So we really did a lot of fundraising, and it really worked out well. Although it worked out well, we didn't have enough money as we hoped we would have. So right now we're looking at canes for a fundraiser because we're sort of in debt. Just a bit.
But this whole experience itself was really great. You know, we had to get the money ourselves. So watching, like spending it kind of hurt because we worked so hard for it. But we knew this was for a good cause. And looking at it now, you know, we started an Instagram, and people would actually, like, if I didn't post things, like if I was selling something and I didn't post it, like, why didn't you post it? It was really, really cool to see that they actually paid attention. But our expenses.
So as we mentioned, the aquaponics build was very surprising cost-wise. So we actually planned to spend about $800 or less, hopefully to $700, but we exceeded that amount. Mainly because we had to buy supplies and like, oh, it's not the correct supplies to return it, or oh, you can't return it, you already cut through it. Also, there were a lot of things that we didn't think about. So like automatic feeder, we didn't plan on buying wood to build a table or the nails. So they're actually pretty expensive. It was very surprising. So all in all, we're in a bit of a debt, but it's just little, you'll earn it back.
But one of the things that was really great was that our tank was donated. So that saved us actually a lot and cut down our expected to about $500. But then we got that $300 back from the tank. Through all the things that are in blue, basically were unexpected, and that's about $400. So our $800 ended up being just $100 too short.
So when we presented to Ms. Trani, she asked us, how are you going to maintain this after you leave? So we came up with a solution. Since the biotechnology class actually builds an aquaponics system in their curriculum, we wanted to add something else in there. So we were planning on showing this to our sponsor, our client, and really talking about how to teach them early on in the year about aquaponics, and every single month have someone assigned, like, okay, Abby will be assigned August, and she'll be checking the pH levels in the tank. And so they get a really early look at aquaponics, so that way when it comes into the aquaponics system they build in class, they actually stay consistent with it and actually build one, unlike our experience.
Yeah.
So here's some photos that we both took throughout the whole experience. It's really been something. So going to Home Depot, we had a story. We were actually buying the wood for the table. And we kept on getting wood and unloading the cart and loading it back on because the guy kept on confusing us. So we just went to the laundry place,
The Home
Depot, the place where they have like all the washing machines and stuff. We sat there for like an hour and just like planned everything out again because we were just so confused. After that, we went to my house and we cut the wood, and then while DeAunna was gone, I finished the table, and then when she came back, Mr. G helped DeAunna with the ebb and flow system that we have. So really getting the PVC in there, since it's really hard to install PVC, as well as just other steps we did. And then our biggest work day was this Saturday. We actually, thanks to Ms. Garza, we stayed even more. Yeah. So we were very thankful for Ms. Garza, and we really got a lot of work done.
So, I don't know if it's playing. I'm so sad.
I hope it doesn't.
Yeah, oh no, I'm so sad right now.
Okay,
Basically, one of the issues that we did run into involved the bulkheads, which is how we got through the plastic, basically. And Friday night, it wasn't working. There was a leak, and we couldn't figure out what it was. So I went back to Home Depot and bought another bulkhead, and we basically used the rubber lining again, so it's doubled up on both sides, and just tried our best on Saturday to get it on. It took forever. Getting it off was actually
Oh
hard
yeah,
work.
we actually got help from Mr. Bunn. Was it Mr. Bunn?
Mr. Morrow.
Mr. Morrow. Yeah, he did it. So that was entertaining. But after that, we got it fixed. And one of the major things that was really awesome to us was fixing that leak.
Oh yeah, it was probably one of our biggest accomplishments. It was the first one, so you really felt very happy and positive and glad you actually were able to fix something. So
So special thanks, Mr. G, of course, Mr. Ronnie, not in here, and also you, Mr. Rios, for putting up with us.
yeah.
And at PetSmart, I actually know the people there by name.
Oh,
they
yeah.
know me, and I went back 3 times in one day. So they just kept being like, "Oh, what are you here for now? What'd you forget?" So we have a bond, and they think that I should work there.
So,
Yeah.
any questions?
There's your Nemo.
So, one quick question. Reflect on your time management.
After the client thing, I feel like we did well. I feel like we definitely shouldn't have waited so long.
Actually,
No,
we
we
did.
contacted them during the summer.
We did.
Dallas World Aquarium, and they just never got back to us.
So we
And
waited
after-
for a month
Yeah.
for them to reply. Then we contacted the Aquarium Museum, but then actually heard back from them. Then she made me wait a week, and then she told me, "Oh no, he's gonna be out of town," and so that's a no.
Yeah, and I think it wasn't until about September that
Yeah,
we realized that
early.
we didn't have a client. And so we had to figure out who. And then after we went to Mr. G, it was a problem of, okay,
Redesign.
where's it gonna go, size, and figuring out all of that. Because we kind of had in our head a certain way, and
But
after
after we changed.
it had to be changed. So
Also, I think our timing was managed pretty well until the ice days. We really weren't expecting the ice days, so Friday and Monday off.
yeah.
We were very concerned at home, like, oh, we gotta finish Capstone. And so it was just a throw. But we eventually got there with help from Ms. Garza.
Yeah, I know that we planned that Monday to actually have it already set up and have
Yeah.
the water in it, treating the water, and then by Wednesday having everything good so that we can just watch it. And I think we just never, those 2 days, really
Yeah.
got that time for that.
Is there anything from what you guys have learned through building it and learning about the system? Is there anything that you're gonna take from it for college? Are you guys gonna major in something, not something similar, but in terms of
Biology or...
biotech or bio?
I actually want to look into biotechnology even more. So this was pretty interesting, but I don't think after this whole experience I want to
Build another one?
pursue. No, I don't. I don't want to pursue the area of aquatic.
I loved
You
it.
don't want to do aquatics. So that's Mr. Bunn. He's a major.
Yeah.
He loves marine science.
Really?
That's his thing. I mean, 99% of this school, you just met the 1% that's not so good. So.
I loved it. I really like the fish.
Oh yeah, the school. They're
Yeah,
really
I just
cute.
like to watch fish. I've always been really big. But I love just seeing how it all, seeing it together was just perfect. And I think it turned out better than we even imagined.
Oh, definitely.
a lot better. Because we kept thinking, the table's going to collapse. Because
Yeah.
everyone kept telling us the table was going to collapse. So filling it up, we were just waiting. But I think just knowing that it's okay makes me feel better. I like, and using a power drill and stuff. I don't do.
I took her to the club room. She used about 2 or 3 heavy machines out
Did
there.
you? Kevin was there. Kevin was there,
She got
yeah.
hands
I am
dirty,
so
she
proud
used
of
the sander,
you.
did you use the saw? I don't think you used the saw, but you
I
definitely used
refuse.
the sander.
That is one thing that I liked. I like what's the little small one? The Dremel. I'm
Oh,
getting a
the
Dremel.
Dremel.
But yeah, that's.
It's cheap.
I guess the thing I really liked about this whole thing is not depending on other people. Usually women have the conception and they're weak, they can't
Oh,
build.
at Home Depot, the guys
Oh, yeah.
that work there.
Like, you know what you're doing? Yes. So.
Yeah, I think they consumed your hour on purpose. Like that
Probably
guy
just
who
kept
just
talking,
kinda sit you
the
there.
wood's gonna expand or something.
Talking about no.
Well, I like what it looks like. I think you guys were very persistent. I shared with you my story of how long it took us to make ours. The making part was easy, to getting it to work,
Oh, yeah.
so about 2 weeks. So for you guys to do that under a week, shows, collaborative skills. You guys are very resourceful. You guys came up to me and you asked me for help, you were polite, you were very respectful with my time. So, and then to see it functioning now is very impressive for 7 to 10 days worth of work. So I applaud you for that.
I do have a question from Mr. Stone.
Oh.
So, what is our plan for sustainability over things like winter break and summer break?
It should be able to sustain itself. I mean,
Yeah, the system will run its own.
yeah.
We have
with
a-
no human interference.
We have that timer as well on the
Mhm.
power outlet, so those lights won't stay on.
Mhm.
We have it set for, I think, daytime right now, but we can easily change it around and everything. We have I think,
A
2
time.
night slots, 2 day slots for always on, and then we have another power strip for the filter and everything else that just stays on as well.
And for the fish,
There's a feeder.
food-wise, there's an
Yeah.
automatic feeder and stuff.
And if you wanted to, like, you could stop the it's called ebb and flow.
Yeah.
And
Just to be
so
safe.
stop that, and you could take the plants home, because that's what we did, because we had about a 4 or 5 day break, and we took the plants home, just make sure that when you incubate them, make sure that you take some of the water source from there, and just have the fish tank just pretty much running its own, because the root system of the plants are already being exposed to the O2, right? Because that's what that
Yeah.
flow system does, so it's not like you're gonna shock them. So it's okay to take your plants and just put them in a bag,
Okay.
and then just have someone take them home, but the fish tank should do
Yeah.
okay for 2 weeks. It doesn't, 2 weeks of what the fish filtrate aren't going to kill the fish,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, when we really bought all the stuff at PetSmart, we really thought about
Mhm.
We were there
the
for
breaks and
that.
all that. Yeah.
Okay. And as far as a fail-safe for flooding?
We actually made sure that the pipes, the PVC pipes, had the special tape, so they are pretty set.
Okay.
We actually even added wood filler because we felt that was really going to help, and it actually worked. So that's it. And the table, it's pretty stable.
She was
We
standing
had,
on it.
oh yeah, I was standing on it.
Didn't even know that.
Sean, DeAunna, and Kevin were all sitting on it, so it's pretty.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Awesome,
Thank you.
guys. Awesome.